for the big January reveal of the Switch 2.
Nintendo has already started.
What do you guys think? Odds that the Switch 2 will come out and it will be worse than the Steam Deck. I think that the probability of that is 100%.
Preparing the mass production for the next gen Switch, which will be launched in 2021. So yeah, just a few months essentially.
All of this stuff that went around in December was just wrong.
I've heard from very trusted sources that Switch 2 is going to be revealed in January. From big time, like the guy on Reddit said it.
There is actually a verified Reddit mod, which...
So the Nintendo Switch...
I love how idiot on the internet, like, there's gotta be people out there who like start these huge rumors and they research a few things and piece them together so they can sound credible, and then they just make up bullshit. Like, they've got to be laughing their fucking ass off when some YouTuber takes it and makes a whole video about it, right? Like, that's got to be like just so validating.
These have gotten pretty insane, and
they actually have
You'll
the
need a
Y
top-notch
X button
team to win
from
this
how
one.
Nintendo has them.
Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a PlayStation 2 level event in gaming. The second this thing gets announced, I am throwing my PS5 Pro directly out the window.
Is this Nintendo Switch 2?
Yes.
Over on Twitter, there
My
was
older is sharper. My mind is sharper.
They're gonna have Elden Ring. Yeah.
Be wary. No timeline exists where Magneto leads.
There's a ton of third-party support in the pipeline.
get ready to play modern offerings on your Nintendo Switch.
Does anybody ever take, like, there used to be like a video game
Round
or like
one,
a news
go!
auditing
We
website?
can no longer
that
hide
every
from the
single time
dangers
the
that lie
person
beyond
30
our
seconds
shores.
before you attack.
There's like
Get
an
ready.
overall rating that this person has is like, is this guy full of shit or not?
Wait,
And
my
I
fault.
think there are so many people that they make these crazy predictions.
My helmet is
and
shielded
they
from
never
telepathic
happen. And it's like,
intrusion.
I would love to have
One
like,
can
a
never
graph
be
that's like,
too
what is your
safe.
hit rate? Okay, you have an accuracy rate of 19. Okay, so you go
Dangers.
right.
You have never had enough.
And a
The
lot
battle
of
starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't forget, securing the mission area is your top priority.
Nintendo Switch with the Switch logo, but there's a 2 next to the logo.
Much better.
Mario Odyssey 2.
You shall not be harmed.
I can be
Do not
reckless
expect
now.
me to do that again. Insignificant attacks.
I like the cold.
Squish those spiders. Your attacks are futile. You shall not be harmed. Armor. I feel like myself again.
I like the cold. Hit the ground now.
Spiders. Your attacks are futile.
This is real firepower!
You are under my
I found
protection.
one of our critics. Needs some help.
They shall not escape our wrath now.
Oh, I need assistance.
Beware, behind you!
Friends, gather around. Are you starting over?
I will crush them all.
17th with the Madness and Warriors board.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
You cannot hurt me.
Spider called missiles. Here they come now. A nice deep freeze.
Surrender your strength. Insignificant mass.
Some help.
First we go back to the Kingdom Come Deliverance.
You cannot hurt me.
Focusing on the quality of the shadows in this game, and you know how they stack up to the
Much
shadows.
better.
Get that vehicle moving again!
Life and destiny must be preserved. Your attacks are futile.
Enemy has arrived. The spider nest has been cleared.
This is real firepower!
You shall not be harmed.
Shake it up!
And it's like Batman.
It's spider time! Friends, gather around! I suck!
Usually I create my own shit.
Play this Japanese games where he becomes a pirate captain that can create clones of himself, and then he sails to Hawaii and teams up with a giant boxing monkey. It does have sword fighting, but I feel like it has too much stuff that isn't sword fighting.
Miniature metal spiders. Interesting. I feel like myself again. Your attacks are cool.
Watch me soar! I'm hurt. Or a dagger.
Spider Zero must reach the blue column. This is our duty.
You shall not be harmed.
What armor is
I think
this?
the people have already decided, since it's a black woman that's like the main character, that it's a DEI bullshit game. And so I kind of feel bad for the devs.
This will be helpful.
Everybody's already like,
They shall not escape.
but I'm gonna try the game out. I'm gonna play it. It's gonna suck. Right, yeah, exactly, right? Everybody, yeah, see, people not even give it a fair
You're
shot.
halfway there. Keep going!
Which is with a sword, but you gotta use
They're
Onimusha
boarding it.
Club. We're hitting with a sword.
Yeah.
Ninjas are involved. This guy from Onimusha 3 is involved.
All right.
Ghost of Yoti.
Leave them to Khonshu!
Ninjas are change and hitting with a sword.
You need not fear.
A nice deep freeze. Only 60 seconds left.
This is real firepower! Spider Zero must reach the blue column. This is our duty.
You shall not be
It's spider time!
Fear Magneto! Tremble before fast!
I checked. No, it's safe. It's okay.
Down to 30 seconds.
Really interesting.
Lines in place. And the final 10 seconds. Watch me
We're talking Crash Bandicoot.
The current score is 1-2-0.
Time Naughty Dog steps up to the plate, they hit a home run.
Time to
But for
switch
some
things up,
reason,
including which side
I
you're
get this
on.
bad feeling when I was watching this trailer.
Be wary. No timeline exists where
Yeah.
Magneto
You
yields.
know, we have
The right
a woman
heroes could make
character.
all the
Okay,
difference.
Probably a ninja. But why are we in a spaceship talking to people like Star? And I started thinking, oh man, maybe gamers will.
That is scary. It is like Starfield. That's really scary.
Right.
Round
Maybe
2.
Naughty Dog is losing that magic touch.
I fought for mutant kind's future.
See? Yeah, there we
Our
go.
time has finally arrived.
No swords equals bad. Well, to be
They'll be
fair,
coming
that
in
one
30
does have a
seconds.
sword,
Stay
so
strong.
it's okay. You're safe.
Approach this site
this
with
video
caution.
is funny. I like it. I mean, I think there's a few other games that's coming out. There's like maybe 2.
My helmet is shielded from
But
telepathic
yeah, a lot of
intrusion.
games with ladies
One
with
can never
swords. I
be
think
too
there's,
safe.
Like, again, I like sword games. Sword games are great. Yeah, ball game soda. Yeah, there you go. And,
battle starts in
Cyber
5,
Game of the Year.
4,
I don't know which
3,
sword game it's
2,
gonna be.
1.
I actually think it's gonna be the
You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
I think that's gonna be the game that ends up being game. But we'll see what happens, right? But
You are under my protection.
So yeah, I can't play with my sword. No, you could probably have a sword. Yeah, I bet you can. I'll link you guys. He's got 81,000 views. I bet he cooked.
Guys, we have some huge developments happening in the Halo community. The co-creator of Halo essentially confirmed that Joe Staten and Paul Bertone were laid off by 343 Industries. It's gonna get...
You shall not be harmed. Your attacks are futile.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
June 6th, Tom Ward, reputable journalist at The Verge, shared a eye-catching report around Halo that quickly went viral. Other journalists passed on
Better stop that vehicle.
Microsoft reportedly working on a remastered version of Halo
Halo 5, and Halo Infinite. You have 3 strikes. You miss every strike. But, well, I guess that's
My power knows no limits.
They're hunting us.
They should get rid of them. Like, how are they still here? I'll back you up. Don't mind
This is not confirmed. It's just a report and should be treated as just a rumor until
Clogs
proven
to clogs
otherwise.
in 3
Let's
generations.
discuss it
That's
That's
another
the saying anyway.
Immediately
Right,
upon
Tony?
hearing this rumor, you might think, wait,
You know what that says to me? That says, you know what? You know it's never going to be.
Oh, Magneto. You cannot hurt me.
It's fighter time! Watch me soar!
but the community went for political reasons and considered
I think that's bad. I actually think that's a really point. I think this probably is going to happen. What's going to happen is actually
Tremble before blast.
that Microsoft has, which is, I think that they came very close to getting regulated and having that merger blocked by the FTC. So I think that what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to bring more of their games to other platforms and make more of their money off of Game Pass. And I think also that's going to happen because I don't know this, but I bet internally Microsoft sees the Xbox as not a product that they're going to have to do.
This is real firepower!
Double KO! Fight alone.
You cannot hurt me.
with some believing that it could serve as a good
Truth makes about Halo is going to be bad. Because if you have an apple tree, it's not like one day that apple tree is going to just have a golden egg that drops out of it. It's just, you're just going to get apples. You can't expect, they're not going to come up with something that's good. They've had 3 games.
Final
make a good
score.
game.
1,
3
2,
opportunities.
2.
They failed at every single one. They're gonna fail at
Well,
this.
you can't expect to win them all.
They
the warm-up, if you will. And once they release a new Halo CD, they can do the same for Halo 2 and Halo 3. That's not a way to look at it, in my opinion. It's as if 343 don't have a good understanding of what makes Halo special. But instead of letting people who do understand it work on it, we're wanting to keep the less qualified developers and give them years and years of chances.
I think Microsoft should just shut down that whole studio. That's what I think they should do. I'm being honest. They should just shut down the entire thing. Take it out behind the barn. Do what needs to be done. And by the way, they are lucky that they have had 10 years of
The right
life
heroes
support
could make all
to
the difference.
fail.
Hopefully figure
Be
it out.
wary. No timeline exists where
Maybe
Magneto
understand if they wanted to
yields.
have the original trilogy built for Unreal Engine, but that doesn't even seem like a great idea.
Nobody cares about
First
that.
of all, the last time 343 produced a remake, the entire art direction changed and gave people mixed opinions, with numerous fans disapproving, still to this day, 13 years later. Secondly, how many of you are willing to wait another decade before we get a truly new
We'll never
Halo
allow
engine?
Krakoa to
Assuming
suffer the
343's
same
work
fate
habit
as
remains the
Kenosha.
same, we'd be getting a new
Farewell.
remake or remaster
They'll be
every
coming in 30
4 to 5
seconds.
years.
Stay
That's
strong.
Which means they wouldn't have a Halo 3 remake done until at least
You
a
look at me
whole
as if
decade.
you know me.
Thirdly,
In my
will people care enough
timeline,
about
you
playing
are
the
one
old
of the
Halo
greatest
games
warriors
again?
our nation
Don't
has
get me
ever
wrong,
known.
I think a Halo 3 remaster would be amazing to do.
And once we are done
Here's the
here,
reality why.
I will gladly
Because
take you
Halo
to
3
them.
for its time was one of the
Krakoa
greatest
would be
FPS games
delighted.
ever
The
made.
battle starts in
But that
5,
time was
4,
2007.
3,
The
2,
industry and the
1.
market has evolved and changed.
You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Pulse on what that market
Much
is.
better.
Because if they did, they would make Halo 5 Halo Infinite did not release its battle game. Nothing will convince me that they are incompetent. It's just obvious that people like battle royales. And you just you're stupid. Like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry, you're just stupid. Like, this is a super dumb take. No, it's not. Battle Royale is one of the most popular game modes. It doesn't require any team play. You can
Mutants
play it at
always
any
rise
time.
again.
Halo could have easily transitioned into a Battle Royale, and they chose not to do it. That to me, it's like if I was Phil Spencer, I would say it's like that is the one point on the graph. I don't need to make a
Enemy
line.
in front of
That's
us.
enough right there by itself. It's
You need to
crazy.
stop
Call
that
of-
vehicle
think
in its
about-
tracks.
Remember whenever Call of Duty did it with Warzone? Totally fucking revitalized the franchise. Totally blew up the game again. They're just stupid.
But not in the current climate of Halo. Not
They don't know what the fuck they
343's
don't know what the fuck they're doing.
However, it seems that a fair portion of the current community are only having fun playing the classic Halo titles, and some are getting
Halo 3 will not age well in today's environment. It won't.
tired of that, including me. And it's not because they're boring, it's just that after 10 to 20 years, it's kind of like...
Pick your hero. Or villain. I'm not judging.
Yep.
It's stale. We need something fresh.
Yep.
Some people in the community are thinking the classic
Be
Halo
wary.
formula is
No
outdated,
timeline
and they're
exists
really
where Magneto yields.
The problem is that these people don't want to... I feel like the Halo fans have a very reductive view of the game, and I think that that reductive view has caused the game to not take risks and chances that it should have. Like, for example, Halo 4 with having like loadouts turned out to be a
Our
bad
past
idea.
was mired
But it
in
was a good
lost
idea.
30
when they
seconds
tried
before
it.
you attack.
The
Get
future
ready.
belongs to
Why
mutant
would
kind.
like Sprint does this really matter?
The worst
does
part
Sprint
about
have
white
anything to do with
costumes,
the problem? Like
the
that's not why
bloodstains.
the game
Am
is
I
good.
right?
I wouldn't know. I
Like,
don't fight to
it's
hurt
just
people. I fight to heal them.
there would be
Well, when
modern
I'm done
mechanics in
here,
your supposed
you'll have plenty of
CE
folks to
remaster,
heal.
like
Trust
Sprint.
me.
While that may
Something
sound like a
tells me you
nice
should
idea
stop.
on paper,
The battle
that
starts
would
in
give
5,
a drastically
4,
different experience
3,
than what the
2,
classic games
1.
had, even if done minimally.
All you need to do is
I
capture the
personally
mission
believe
area.
The way to
Got
go
it?
is to have a one-to-one
Look at this
recreation
place.
with improved
Hydra's
performance,
crazier than I
upgraded
am.
graphical fidelity, and extra features outside of the legacy experience. Another
They need to
sentiment-
stop trying to remake
Enemy ahead.
like, anything that
Prepare to
happens
engage.
over the days. Stop much better foundation to build a Halo game off of this remake. Because like so, this is the Halo target.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
You are under my protection.
Halo's
better than one, I guess.
This is way in the future, and there's basically no Spartans left at all. Master Chief, John, 117, 117. I read the Halo books as a kid, by the way. I know all of them. So, yes, remake is a much better foundation to build a story on. Because you can go in a lot of other directions. You can sell better cosmetics with it, too. And also, like, you can introduce
I feel like
Mission area is yours.
a commendable effort.
They build off of. Was it Reach the prequel? It was. That's what I'm saying, right? Is it Reach
Hostile
like,
ahead.
the last mission in Reach where
You
everything's
are under my protection.
That's absolutely happening.
Just don't waste the light.
Remember SWAT mode? Yeah. Well, SWAT was like an actual game mode in.
Us against the world. Friends, gather around.
Do not expect me to do that again.
How many easy target? Microsoft are making a Halo CE remake.
Insignificant facts.
Careful wording was intentional.
You are under my protection. You are welcome.
Lock that. This is
I feel like myself again.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
No, nothing.
which I don't think is
You are
the
under my
ideal
protection.
situation.
It's not. The ideal situation is they're
Spiritual energy accumulation
They
in
have nothing to do
progress.
with it whatsoever.
Ah, here they are now.
Man, you remember lighting up that bridge? Man. I was just like truth reconciliation.
Behold the god of thunder!
Yeah.
That one
Behold the god of thunder!
insider information, game knowledge, and occasional sarcasm. She never worked on Halo. She didn't actually invent the battle rifle. She was the first to report on Joe Staten's departure from Microsoft,
victory!
and she also reported last year that the Master Chief Collection was wrapping up all further development. Here's what she had to say about the report on the CE remaster. 343 laid off Joe Staten and Paul Bertone, the original creators of Halo, who did a lot of Halo CE's story and mission design, and then decide to do a remaster.
Enemy ahead.
Not confirmed.
Prepare to
of the
engage.
game without
I will crush them all.
I hope
Leave them to Khonshu!
Jump down. Abso-fucking-lutely. Has nothing to do with that, by the way. But yes. Why not remake the Halo games 343 made? Makes no sense to start from the beginning. Because a remake only works if it has nostalgia attached to it.
I am not the man I
Like, why
used to
would somebody
be.
want to play a remade
I
version
have
of a game
found
that
a
they didn't
greater
like?
cause.
studio gets shut down.
Doesn't it?
No, I don't think it makes a good point and brings attention to how insulting the situation
30
is.
seconds before you
I'm
attack.
not the only
Get
one who
ready.
agrees. Marcus Leto, the guy who helped create
Are you
Halo
reading my mind?
and Master
I don't
Chief,
have to read your mind to know what you're thinking.
Other
Ouch,
Bungie
my
devs
man.
and even former
You're so
Microsoft
sensitive.
executives have also shown
must regroup
support
with the
for
rest of
her
the
and
Guardians.
liked her posts in the
Collector
past.
must be stopped.
Some former Super 3 devs have too. If that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what will.
The battle starts in 5,
I
4,
think what they
3,
need to do
2, 1.
is they need, like,
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Life's twisted metal ways.
These dooms still hide themselves behind metal masks.
343 to
The
kill
fools.
one of their prime, like there are
This
two, in my
nightmare.
opinion,
Enemy ahead. Prepare to
Hold still.
engage.
I'm trying to help.
You are under my protection. Insignificant gnats.
The mission area is yours to capture now.
Your powers are mine! I feel like myself again. Fear Magneto! Tremble before fast!
just like eat it. The years of
Got an easy target.
Oh my fucking god.
You cannot hurt me.
After leaving from that post, Marcus then makes his post in response to why
I am barely harmed.
Hold still. I'm trying to help.
elements were
My power cannot be
along with
quelled.
more contemporary core mechanics that improve gameplay while remaining faithful to
Leave
the
them
original.
to Khonshu!
I fully support that idea, and I'd hope everyone would. It may not be the easiest core translation,
Spiritual energy accumulation in progress.
the careful work required. If there's any time that Halo knows care,
I feel like myself again.
knows how to deliver Halo, but it's not
You shall not fall.
which will be what I
Kill.
the day
Well,
following,
like, let's be honest, right? I mean, like, every Halo game that's come out has been bad. I mean, like, I don't think the people that are making the game right now have to decide how to make the game. Like, it's like if you take the same people that are making the current game and then you have them make it. WoW 2, right?
That's the world has passed the halfway
Well,
point.
World of Warcraft 2 is made by developers that work at Blizzard now. Would just be Dragon. That would just be another Dragon.
Together I feel like myself again.
Like, again,
By the eye of Agamotto!
don't expect that.
Stinky shared alarming insight. So last night, Marcus Lato, the co-creator of Halo,
Exposed for liking the tweet.
I want to
You shall not be
no one
harmed.
else knows.
Shield
343 didn't want They made it clear to both him
here.
and Marty
Feel like I'm being watched.
nothing for them.
Marty O'Donnell was the guy who composed the music that you're listening to. I'm pretty sure now.
I feel like myself again. You are under my protection. Don't forget your sacrifice.
It's because 343 did a lot of bad things that no one knows about. Legal reasons,
Mutants
but I do
always rise again.
it's not just what they've done to Halo, it's also how they treated the original creators. Some at 343 have downplayed their contributions, trashed their games, and mocked their fans.
Beware.
Right,
An
so there are
enemy
plenty of different
You are under my protection. Your powers are mine!
really have to attack.
they can certainly
Winner. Us against the world. Double KO. You got them all. Control C's.
It's! Wait, what are we talking about?
We have done well.
It's not even a question.
to reach out to 343 a long time ago, but they made it
You've captured more than half of the mission area.
nothing to
Keep
do
going.
with Paul Russell, Halo's former environment artist and who
Above
gave
the
Halo
light.
its name, once applied for a job at 343.
The perfect conduit for your chaos.
Power after
By the eye of Agamotto! Tremble before fast! It seems we are outnumbered. Nations always rise again.
I will buy an Xbox. I'll even buy one. I would have never done this normally, but I need a new machine to play Netflix on, and it might just be time for me to upgrade. I think that we might have to do what we got give 5 to 10.
Alas, we can no longer hide from the dangers that lie. Beware. No timeline exists where Magneto yields.
So 343 have had a
30
no
seconds before you
budgie
attack.
rule
Get ready.
for anyone who works there. Why? What good
Here
reason
we
can you
are,
think of for that?
side by side once more, just like the old days.
Even though what they did, so it's funny, right? Because like, so it's really funny. Because if you look at,
You make me sound like a terrible father when you put it like that.
graphs.
Then at least we
Let's look at some graphs.
Battle starts in
So
5,
let's look at Destiny
4,
2.
3,
And now
2,
let's also
1.
look at Halo Infinite.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
So you have the Halo Infinite player base, which is at
I will get even.
2,000 players right now, on a steady and slow decline, just creeping towards
Enemy ahead.
the
Prepare to
eventual
engage.
end of service, circling the drain, porting
Insignificant gnats.
just it's over and they don't
Mission area is yours to capture now.
Hell unleashed!
people playing
Your attacks are futile.
Here is an enemy.
Us against the world.
but not recently enough to explain this.
Sometimes.
So
Or a dagger.
Witness true power.
Mission area is yours.
That's what the graph said. This
You
isn't
cannot
my
hurt
opinion.
me.
It's just
We've
a
won the
fact.
battle.
The perfect convoy for your chaos.
Destiny 2
You need not fear.
in the resources. It should have been.
Enemy
And
ahead.
it's not.
Prepare to
Fuck.
engage.
Is that not just a petty grudge they're holding against Bungie?
to
It's
be helpful.
obviously not a matter of talent, qualifications, or passion. So what is it? It sounds like they want to do as much
An enemy.
I feel like
eager to make their mark on the brand.
Yep, that's what it's about. They're trying to make their mark. Yeah, they have made their mark. The same as those
perfect convoy for your chaos.
protesting Stonehenge. Let's spray paint Stonehenge. Get the fuck out of here. Should put them in jail.
Chief Atollo!
Gather around.
I think that's unfair.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Better than one, I guess.
There's a reason why 343 even exists. Keep that in mind.
That fan's blood. Compare that to now, we've lost Halo's identity.
It seems we have company.
Check this enemy.
Much better.
Over here.
Lost Halo's identity, and we'd be lucky to have all of
The area is almost yours.
the Bungie era of Halo was
They made Cortana not as hot as she used to be. That's a huge mistake. Like, I look at the new Cortana, she's...
Your powers are mine!
As they used to be, what the hell were you
Assemble!
I need assistance.
Together to
We'll
victory.
have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
I'm doing this my way.
Us against the world.
What happened? What are y'all doing this for?
Another epic victory. Big
Yeah,
win.
we'll get 5. What are you doing? Why would you do this? It's crazy. Like, I don't understand. Like, what is this? Force Geiger? Yeah, I think 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is the perfect balance? Yeah. And like, we're getting that. To be fair, 4 was made by 343. And somehow every game they made it worse. What were you thinking?
better off working on Halo without any of the original creators of the franchise. You know, the ones who literally made Halo and Xbox globally successful as the titans of the industry. Gosh. Anyway, she
How
goes
many of
on
y'all
to
bought
say,
an Xbox to play Halo back in the day?
wanted the original devs working.
That was me.
They only brought on Joe Staten after the disastrous Halo Infinite reveal. Joe offered to help Bonnie and steer 343 in the right direction as a favor, but they
The right
decided
heroes
to
could
hire
make
him
all the
instead
difference.
because they knew they were in real trouble and needed his expertise. But despite Joe being one of the creators of Halo, some idiots there still push back
Be
against some
wary.
of his ideas.
No
Alex
timeline
Whitford
exists
was a
where
member of the
Magneto
Halo community
yields.
who had become infamous in the Halo circles for writing absurd articles about Halo and Bungie and making claims that they included references to a word that sounds like rape in their games. He even wanted Marcus to confirm whether it was true or not. Alex also criticized Joe for referring to Cortana and Joe.
343 brought
Round
him on.
one,
You see this?
go!
It's
We
sad,
should
bro.
give
It really
these
is
humans
sad.
good reason to hate
time
and
I
fear
got a
us
shield.
after all.
They'll be coming in 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Liked by
Stay
many in
strong.
the community, 343
together.
brought him onto their community.
What a mistake,
The
bro.
mighty Magneto.
What a fucking
We
mistake.
have much in
Scott,
common.
Halo's
In that we are
multiplayer
both
announcer.
despised by
They
the
tried
people
to
we
replace
strive to
him and
protect
made
and
him
lead.
aware of it, which upset me.
What?
Jeff wants to
What?
keep the details of it private. It's no secret that 343 also tried to replace Steve
The battle starts in
They
5,
trying to make it their
4,
own, bro. Like,
3,
this is, it's like,
2,
you know what?
1.
You know what 343 should do?
Oh, here they are now.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
You know what? You're gonna find a lot of people over there. They got the same mindset that you do. It's like all of these people. I love the creative. This is a word. It's a pejorative in this case. They're not creating anything. They're like the opposite. Only thing they can create is a worse version of something that already exists. It's insane, man. How do you do this? Just make it. Yeah, like what the fuck?
Can we talk about this? Disrespected Jeff Spicer and wanted to get
You are under my protection. I feel like myself again. You cannot hurt me.
I suck.
Oh, here they are now.
almost everyone that not just Halo fans knew the Halo medals and how they sounded simply because of Jeff Spicer's voice and how he delivered.
See, it's these people have no respect. They have no respect for the games that they're trying to make.
I am a true
and the stories that they're trying to make. And in fact, they resent them. They resent the fact that
Better stop that
everybody is
vehicle!
positive about these other people. They're trying to put their mark on it, bro. They're trying to put themselves in a situation where they look good. They hate the game, bro. Like, yeah.
You
It's
need not
jealousy.
fear.
I know. It's sad, bro. Like, this is what happened in Lord of the Rings. You know, like with Melkor and Morgoth. What he tries to do.
Watch me
And
soar!
like the bad guy. So what the fuck?
People knew him as the
need to block
voice
their
of
path.
God,
Yes.
which is a testament to how impactful
There's still a
his
chance to
voice
stop
in the
them.
game is. And
He's the guy.
Master Chief and Cortana were just as iconic. Steve Downes doesn't have a ton of lines.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop.
A big part of the main character. No matter how much the fans and gamers in
Crack the Put some pep in my step.
Taylor has done so much as Cortana and delivers her lines with a voice that rings in your head that you can hear
Better
with
stop that
just the
vehicle!
thought of her character. She's become a perfect complement to Steve Downes' voice.
It's more than that, bro. Microsoft has put Cortana
I feel like myself
They
again.
made it halfway! Stop them!
however big you think Halo is.
It seems we have company.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
and his synergized
You shall not be
You know what? I tell you one thing, they wouldn't have got rid of Halo and then had
There's still a chance to stop them.
players.
I found one of our critics.
Magneto! That beacon should not access any further.
Your powers are mine!
I feel like myself again.
You get away!
Yeah!
tainted with the gross mark. You know, it's actually consumption.
Yeah.
Maybe you should get rid of that mark too.
Yeah,
That's consumption is rated after all.
Yep.
To finish with Haley's
It keeps
post,
going?
Jesus. And stories that people don't know. Jamie CasualStreamer, former Halo even recently said that
Your attacks are
Bungie
futile.
was unnecessarily hostile.
It's all about, bro, like, this is, you know what it reminds me of? It's like, no, Dad, I don't need your help. I can do it myself. And then, like, you come on like 2 hours later, 4 hours later, and like the kid's trying to replace the tire on the bike, and somehow now it's supposed to tire through off the bike.
They shall not escape our wrath now.
Dad.
A lot of things I've been saying for a while. This hostility is also seen in how 343's community team treats Halo fans.
Yeah.
Just look at how snickerdoodle
There they are.
and cowgirly 343 have unfairly
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
Much better.
This is real firepower!
Like, I don't know.
Hey, team! Enjoy the air!
Furious at this.
Your
That this is
girlfriend
happening.
is ready to
They're
go.
taking this game and they're destroying it. They're destroying the biggest
It's now or
franchise
never.
you have.
Stop them.
A disappearing one.
We must quickly.
Why should I give 343 destroying the franchise that revolutionized console games and online gaming?
The moon haunts you!
3, but Halo 2 was the best for its time. Halo 2, I was talking about this with a friend of mine.
Call and the Iron Fist
Halo
will answer.
2 was the game that brought online gaming to the mainstream. That was the game that was the bridge. That was the gateway. Now, and you know, like CS.
The current score is
But, like, I'm talking
0
about
2
mainstream
3.
console ambience.
Time to switch
Halo
things
is
up,
that game.
including which side you're on.
It's like the
Be wary. No
like
timeline
the
exists
tenure
where
of it is
Magneto
not to be
yields.
understated.
You'll need a top-notch
Messed
team
up
to win
Halo
this
for
one.
a whole decade. That's a big part of our lives. I don't see how anyone can respect them after all that. I know that's a lot of information to take in, but bear in mind that actual Halo developers, both old and new, have supported Haley's post and know she's in regular contact with people on the inside. Bungie devs even follow her, and so do more. Both
We
former
should give these
Microsoft
humans
executives
good
who
reason to
Asgard
hate
has
and
been
fear
invaded
us
yet
after
again.
all.
Because
But
it's
as
true with every
Fear
other
best
series
self.
where a new studio or a new group of people take this series
30
and
seconds
they,
before you attack. Get
they
ready.
change it. It's the same as with The Witcher. It's the same as with
don't
Star
need to
Wars.
side with a
And it's the same thing.
You can stop my grand
It's these
scheme?
people think that they can do it better.
Okay, new rule. How about we steer
teams
clear of
behind the
all
original
would-be
Xbox
tyrants?
and Xbox 360. The things Haley says have merit. With all the other stories we've heard about 343
The battle
and
starts
some
in
of the
5,
ridiculous things we
4,
see, the
3,
thing is about
2,
time we stop.
1.
Look at those shoulders. understand,
that
like,
vehicle to its
Spartans
destination.
are, like, #1,
Mine's in place.
like, Olympic level quality athletes.
Good job, fighter.
I shall not be removed so
They have
easily.
a suit of armor that makes them extremely strong. It's the Mjolnir armor.
I need
Then on
assistance.
top of that,
You
there's,
cannot
like,
hurt me.
engineering that goes into the
I like the cold.
So what? I bet you put that woman in that rugby in that armor and it would look a lot more badass than that. Bro.
I shall not be removed so easily.
The ridiculous things we still see, I think it's about time we stop defending them. If you're still firmly on 343's side, you're still a
I like the cold. Turn around.
Much better.
It's not necessarily wrong.
It seems we have company.
Of course, ultimately, it comes down to the company's running the the sooner we acknowledge that and deal with it, the less harm will be done.
I suck.
If you're still growing them, that's a bit of a different story. Think about it. At around the age of 5 and 6, you start
Insignificant
memories
This is the
on
age of
save
the
the great
average
tree.
343
for experience. We tend to look back on them and what we grew up with, experience first. Sometimes stuff like
This is real firepower!
Oh, wait.
stuff like the experienced by those of us who were actually
See, yeah, they, like, these people, that, like, they don't remember what it was. Like, Halo was the game.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Now it's like,
sad as this may be, the majority of Halo players now have an era.
like, I remember this is like this crazy. A bunch of people. This is from like 2010 or something like that.
Namor has arrived.
And they asked like, what character do you like the most, or do you relate the most to? And like 90% of the guys said Master Chief. Yeah. The fucking Chief. Yeah. That's what it's about.
Two primal forces merged as one.
Potentially
I'll patch you up.
Only 60 seconds left.
6-year-old kids are now 17 to 18 years old.
Yeah, they're the ones
To
tweeting about this
reiterate,
shit.
Halo fans who are 18 years old or younger grew up with 343.
That means they're stupid.
That's pretty sad.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Grew up in a different environment, played different games. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
They shall not
It's
escape our
based
wrath
on
now.
What you experienced, which you can't always.
He's trying to say you don't know any better. It's not your fault.
You know what to do, spiders?
It's not your fault. Like, you see, you weren't
My
there.
power
for the war. You
knows
see, like,
no
this is the same
limits.
thing with WoW. It's like people don't understand. Like, I see people
You needed
that
some
are
help,
like,
didn't you?
you know, like 22, 25 play WoW. And they don't understand the way.
I like the cold. You're halfway there. Keep going.
Perfect coldness for your chaos.
Straight on till
Halo. Now we're having tensions and conflicts we've never seen.
Friends, gather around. Out there. Don't turn back now.
Tons of fans aren't being
So it
listened to.
begins.
Developers have become cold and careless. Communications run dry and tone deaf.
Your powers are mine!
I will crush insignificant gnats. You shall not be harmed.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
You have made your father
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Have a sparkle bombs like that.
Sorry. No,
This
spider.
is bullshit. Who thought of this? The Pepsi sparkle.
I really
magic and magnetism. Magnificent.
It's
You shall not be harmed.
to forget about
You have made your father proud, Walter, my dear. It seems we have company.
Yeah. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is coming.
I feel like myself again.
Fable, perfect. Nothing at all crazy though.
That's it! Don't let anything stand in your way. It's spider time!
Because we've done that for the past year. Like, didn't ask for
Stronger already.
The fact that they didn't put Halo Infinite on release, that to me, if I was the Xbox ownership, I would have fired the entire studio leadership because of that. It is like that alone is such a stupid decision, and it was totally unnecessary as we are now. Like that would have been it.
You are under my protection.
Friends, gather around!
You have made your father proud. Much better.
anyone who's been paying attention can see it.
They shall not escape our wrath now.
Let us save the great tree!
You cannot hurt me. Unless the spiders
This is real firepower!
Oh no! Look behind you!
That's the
You've got a lot of them!
cannot hurt me.
Chin up! Friends, gather around!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! Your powers are mine!
You know, it is what it is, right?
Only 60 seconds left!
Your attacks are futile.
even if it's not its game. Halo
Right there!
You cannot hurt me.
Get that vehicle moving again!
Fear Magneto!
Down to 30 seconds!
Chief Atomo!
It's spider time!
You cannot hurt me.
The final hit!
plays with your emotions.
Final score, 2-3.
Halo and have grown so attached to it that they'll stick with it no matter what. But even if they're hurt by it, they don't.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Is forgiving mistakes just to end up getting hurt again and continuing the cycle. That's just a gruesome
This could have been about WoW too.
My eyes and ears open for anything exciting happening
Yeah.
with Halo, but it's safe to say that we're far away from anything good. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments though, and don't be afraid to speak your mind.
Well, it looks like some things never change. So yeah, I feel like this is really sad. I do because like Halo was like a franchise that I grew up with, and like if you go and you look at my room downstairs, like I've got Halo posters everywhere. I was drawing pictures of Master Chief, shit like that. Like Halo was like my game. Like I went from being obsessed about Halo to being obsessed about WoW. And like I was right, by the way, this video was great. These guys only got 2,000 subs, so make sure to give the video a like, give them a sub if you liked it, man. 343 fucked it up, yeah. And it's like, it's so sad that like anybody's trying to act like these like pitiful ass fucking joke developers that can't come up with a good game.
Oh my god! Did you see what XQC said about Minscape when he reacted to Hassan's reaction video about Sniper Wolf's tweet about Ludwig's video on Asmongold's short and how World of Warcraft is kind of stupid, I guess, or something? I didn't really actually listen to the original point.
Pick your hero. Or villain, I'm not
about this
judging.
and not say a single word! I'm just gonna stare blankly into the camera while I play someone else's video!
Hey guys, welcome back to Scrolling Reddit. And today we're gonna scroll Reddit and look at things other people made. Let's just jump into it.
Did you see the new drama? You gotta watch this new TikTok reaction.
Oh my god, spill the tea!
Be wary. No timeline exists where Magneto yields.
Shut up! Shut up! Oh my god! Oh, I can feel my brains leaking out of my ears! Quick! Someone turn on Townsend!
I am not the man I used to be. I have found a greater cause.
I can feel it healing me. Thank you.
30 seconds before you attack.
Goblins and
Get
ghouls,
ready.
it's me, a somewhat circular internet guy making internet videos talking about other internet people making internet videos. And I personally feel sick. I'm aware this isn't an overwhelmingly uplifting topic for a video, but I've gotta get this shit off my chest, man. I genuinely have real fears about how current internet video content is created, distributed, consumed, and replicated in the general direction of the average aspiring creator is headed. I feel the actual act of creation is slowly being damaged over time. And before you say anything, no, I'm not putting only animators on some infinitely tall, sanctimonious pedestal. We chose the worst content genre, and it unfortunately takes a lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears to make anything.
We shall.
Mostly the tears part.
The desire to become an influencer,
Sorry, I just thought of that term.
has never been more colossal, and the routes in which individuals will take to achieve that has never been more accessible. And with that, I think we've seen quite literally but do not get it twisted. There are absolutely outstandingly talented creators popping up on every corner of the internet at all moments, every day within every genre. Not some jaded old man pissing up in the clouds and wondering why it's raining. Platforms we make content on, especially
Your attacks are futile.
are often predatory and these problems are inflated even more when we realize how content gets recommended in front of your eyes to begin with. Let's start with vertical content as a medium. Vertical videos are now the single most consumed form of digital entertainment in the world. By a long shot that has completely cannibalized almost every single form of digital content entirely without landing the main form of content.
I feel like myself again.
Vertical short-form content as a medium was designed to function like a bag of chips, extremely easy to consume, and no thought is really put into ingesting them, and you'll often find yourself eating way too many and probably feeling bad by the end of it. Vertical videos obviously cater to your scrolling process. Give me a break, please! You can swipe hundreds, if not thousands of videos extremely fast. That's also created an awkward tall aspect ratio. By the way, after so many reposts, can make the most horrible watching experience ever fucking created. These videos are also meant to be short, usually between 15 to 60 seconds. Even though some of the vertical content apps are trying to move away from this tool, we still think the majority of content remains in this way. All in all, this content is meant to beam thousands of videos a day into your little brain zone, which by design will more than likely mostly consist of low-quality, low-effort videos that you'll forget about extremely fast. And that's sadly understandable. Honest question, why would you spend a ton of time making one of these videos?
We are at
entirely forgotten about and barely 500 videos in that same house. The answer is no. That's the name of the game. Sure, there are some incredibly talented creators making high-concept, high-effort content on these platforms. I'll link some of my favorites in the description.
My power cannot be quelled.
Now, of course, I'm not some prude that thinks only the most amazing content should exist on the platform. I mean, oh boy, you're watching one of my videos.
Here's a spot to do some real
I know, buddy. I know. Let it out. But what this effect does is shoehorns users into making as much content as humanly possible, but there's only a few ways you can reliably do that, the most popular one being theft. Funny sound bit or joke someone else made? Use it! Someone else's funny video? Put yourself in front of it. A popular bit or trend? Steal it one for one. Rebuild entire videos and react.
Right there, Circle. We're the argument police.
Argument police.
And your argument is stupid. Are you honestly saying that this sort of behavior hasn't always been apparent in the content space?
Hey, officers. Take the wife somewhere nice, okay, Ted? We've all had our differences, right? But we can all fucking agree that this is bullshit, right?
What is that?
This is Instagram Reels recommending, encouraging, and auto-generating a video for me using someone else's video formula and slapping on an audio I didn't make.
before you
Hosting all
attack.
my own.
Get ready.
Jesus Christ.
And I want your badge number, rookie. I've never seen your face before. Where's Georgie, huh? You know, his old partner? Don't you bring up Georgie. You know what happened. I can speak about it as much as I like. You know damn well I loved it too.
My hand is 10
stolen
times as strong
ideas,
as yours.
rebooting, unoriginal material, and everything in between has existed since dinosaurs were objectively the best
battle starts
subclass
in
to spec
5,
into as a child.
But I want to play 3,
We
2,
are learning about the plesiosaurus.
All you need to do is
Has
capture
video
the mission
manipulation
area.
and
Got
theft
it?
been as encouraged and easy to access as it
Today
is
we
now?
fight as
Oh, that
allies.
joke you saw was
Do
funny?
not
Click
give
this
me
little
reason
button,
to
steal
alter
the
that
entire thing and do
arrangement.
it yourself. Often you'll get more views than the original. And even if you use the unconventional classic forms of theft, encouraged because they don't combat it whatsoever. Flagging stolen videos literally does nothing at all. Me and my friends have tried hundreds of different occasions to stop this blatant stealing and identity theft. And TikTok refuses. Look at anything. I mean, look at this bullshit. Fuck! You know how many times I comment on my video and asking me where the original audio came from? Me! It came from me! It came from my life! And my life! Every app has multiple features specifically designed for streamline, theft, repost, remakes, and freebies. TikTok obviously being the absolute worst offender. It's easy to access, shoved in your face, put it in targeted ads, and it continues to push the idea that anyone can become rich and famous through just a few simple tasks. Take a few these videos for a living, including mostly really short ones. This might be that anything and everything is free game, stealable, reactable, and that you should do all of these things, and if you do it over and over again, you'll become a super famous content creator. Straight up hereditary, especially on the app where there are so many impenetrable spider-brained children. About 6 months ago, I filmed a TikTok reaction video for my second channel. I had some buddies of mine curate some of the most insane videos I could find so I could watch them live on camera. I actually really enjoyed making the videos. Some of the clips I watched were funny. I think I made some pretty good jokes as well. But almost minutes after I finished exporting the thing, I had a horrible feeling wash over me. I just stared at it in my video for like 5 minutes straight. It was some ancient evil.
I am ready to put on a show!
Funny, watchable content. Sure, I make some jokes and I did my best to add to it, but was it really even worth uploading? What was the point? I had made literally nothing. So I deleted it, and I never really looked back. XQC has recently found himself in some heated discourse related to the same topic, and has also been kind of making a poster boy of the entire issue. It's a growing sentiment that reaction
Your powers are mine!
And theft is interesting because as a society, we cannot be pushed around quite a lot. Jinx was early to the reaction craze and instantly got blasted by the entire internet. Years ago, the Fine Brothers were extremely popular, then tried to copyright the very act of being a human with human emotions. That mixed with some horrible they then fell into a downward trend and created now in 2023, reaction content couldn't be more popular
Judge,
or more
jury,
executioner! Clips of every creator live streaming YouTube and watching other people's content.
Judge, jury,
executioner! When they give up and leave entirely,
My
leaving the
power
video to
cannot
play on
be
their
quelled.
channel with zero added input. XQC has been called out for this numerous times, and this started a wave of people in general calling out this form of content. On the other side, you have those that argue that this is a good thing and it bolsters and inflates smaller creators when they succeed by such a massive audience. But this has been proven false most of the time. It's very rare that a smaller channel receive any significant bump, and it often actually scraps many chances of you organically watching the original video yourself. Because why would you watch an hour-long video with a Twitch streamer and then rewatch that same video again by yourself?
Ooh, I bet you guys know the answer. Say it with me now. You won't!
Now, of course, XQC isn't the problem. No single person is the issue. It's a multi-headed hydra. Sniper Wolf probably being the biggest and most fucking annoying head of them all. Her content is genuinely the most deplorable, shameful, most embarrassingly vile, blatant theft on YouTube. She will fully steal popular videos, crop out the watermark, not make credit, and then often steal the top comments from that video and call it her joke.
She hit it with a Hadouken.
Should I know who you are?
fact, it's gotten
but you
so
should
bad
know
that Jax
magnetism
Films has
doesn't work
created a
on super
parody
cool
channel where he does
materials.
Sniper
Guess
Wolf
what I
bingo
can do?
streams and predicts what
The
she'll say because her
impertinent, it
disgusting theft
seems.
content is so formulaic and predictable.
Right there.
This is Sofo Antonio shit on
The battle
steroids.
starts in
People,
5,
come on! Why have we
4,
fallen so low?
3,
Data breaches,
2,
extremely predatory
1.
algorithms, hashtags and trends that prey
All
on
you need to
negative
do is
emotions,
capture the
attention
mission
span
area.
killing frameworks,
Got
and
it?
some of the worst misinformation and the
Part of me
NPC
just wants to get
fetish
back home.
trend put
But I
aside
know
for a
I'm
moment.
needed
TikTok and many of its wannabe clones has permanently changed the landscape of content creation. But let's slow it down, let's take it back a few steps and throw it back as well.
I don't think that's welcome.
There are companies that it's easier to enter the world of content and people are no longer gatekeepers behind editing software.
We are undefeatable! Area is yours to capture now.
Actually make transformative content that highlights and plays well off the increased output of content. They strive to actually add more value to the content, and I've absolutely seen YouTube take audio clips and modify or enhance the joke, making it even better. And to be honest, I myself enjoy a lot of stuff on my feed. I'm constantly sending the most insane and bizarre clips I can find to my friends, sometimes crying from laughter over the dumbest shit.
Oh, much better.
I actually think we see a sort of renaissance when it comes to old 2008 style videos that you'd find on YouTube back in the day. Now that everyone has a camera in their pockets, it was inevitable that we'd see an influx of horrible content, but we've also gained an increase of hilariously raw, insane clips. I mean, where else could I find this?
Take this! Enemies are
And
here!
even though my meme
They shall not
first
escape
video
our
on
wrath
Instagram
now.
bring me a lot of joy, I think my point here still stands. I may fall victim to the parasitic nature of lying in bed and scrolling for way too long, but I still don't think this new world is necessarily a better one. We used to kind of have two separate digital hubs for everything. One being social media, where you could say or post literally anything, and it kind of didn't matter. Most of it wasn't worth reading, but it wasn't really meant to be. Then you had content creation platforms.
I am
like
ready to
YouTube
put on a
Shorts,
show!
to name a few, where at least the elevator pitch was to at least try to make content that was worth watching.
The moon!
Halfway
Around every living thought imaginable forever etched into the internet is thinking, which I reiterate isn't a wonderfully uplifting notion considering every young impressionable child has a phone or iPad. Studies heavy mental health problems with increased rates of anxiety and depression. Not only that, but TikTok has been proven to, and sometimes in a few minutes, be able to grow a person, including depression, and overfeeding people with only those videos with relevant hashtags.
I shall not be removed so easily.
But I was anxious before TikTok, so maybe I'm just fucking cooler than you. I don't know.
But with all of this in mind and outside my rambling, we return to my original critique and the original issue at hand, reaction content. Every issue I've outlined previously does nothing but embolden it, facilitates horrendous theft, and encourages quantity over quality common practice, and it pushes the argument that one-to-one copy count is normal and should just be accepted. It would take over 100 videos to actually but I feel I have somewhat explore all of these topics to properly articulate myself when it specifically comes to reaction. Vine was nearly the exact opposite of what we're seeing today. Because of the harsh 6-second restriction, creators were forced to be quick, clever, and genuine with their content. That paired with a simple UI and barely any content creation features, we really did have an influx of people robust travel is usually a bumper as well. But I you want to make stuff always far more fulfilling, even if you don't see the stupid number go up, which frequently is artificially inflated on these apps anyway. Now I'd like you guys to try a little exercise for me. Scroll your feed for 10 minutes and really take note of how many things you see that are 100% originally created and get back to me with the results. Next, if you make content on any platform, challenge yourself to make something totally original. It can be super simple, just make it yourself. Don't steal an audio clip or a joke or an easy trend, someone else's video and add fucking Family Guy clips to it. Make something with your own damn hands and be proud of it. In short, I hate reaction. I hate the current lazy reaction culture so much it drives me so crazy. But maybe the entirety of my anger stems just from that fucking annoying TikTok voice.
This is Somi when I steal Circleton's videos.
The hidden costs of long playtimes in modern gaming. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Right now, ask yourself, how many games do you currently have that are halfway finished? And you tell yourself, yeah, I'll get back to that, knowing fully...
Like 5? Yeah, like 5.
Well, you won't, or even worse, games you love to play but have been gathering dust because you literally don't have the time to play them at all.
Because I'm busy playing other games. Yeah, I buy a new game, but I'm busy playing my old game. That I hate the game. I play it for 1,000 hours and I just can't fucking stop playing it.
It's your friendly neighborhood circle. Today, I'm going to what I believe to be a massive contributor to the problem I just mentioned and spout my gaming opinions that absolutely nobody asked for.
I did. The hit.
Oh my god! Did you see what XQC said about Mizcape when he reacted to Hassan's reaction video about Sniper?
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Your time is up, you fat little Italian. Your little whips and wahoos have met their maker, and it's PlayStation's funny little Funko Pop.
Circle, you've said a lot of horrendous things to me over the years, but this one takes a vacation.
Holy sweet baby Robo Jesus. This game will force you at gunpoint to remember why you love playing video games. As of writing this script, I finished the game about 2 days ago, and I swear to God, I already feel nostalgic about it.
Oh, that's a stupid thing to say. Well, that's pretty stupid. Hey, that's
And I know that sounds like the dumbest thing you've heard today, but that's kind of the only way I can explain this feeling. It's like they injected me with a glowing funny serum that makes me see games as a 7-year-old again. And that's not because the game is wrapped around the idea of exploring PlayStation's history and saving Sony and Sony-adjacent mascots, but that feeling is derived from their clear love and implementation of the genre and gaming as a whole. From the first minute to the literal credits, this game never stops throwing fun and unique genius ideas at you, like you're at a buffet, and it's mandatory that you sample every sick and twisted idea that they have for you. But I'm getting ahead of myself here, so what in the Sony wannabe Marvel multiverse crossover hell is a damn Astro? Well, technically, this guy had his first debut in Playroom, a free little camera toy thing that came with the PS4. But Astrobot is more of a sequel to the quick tech demo-like platformer game Astro's Playroom that dropped in 2020 alongside the PlayStation 5. The entire purpose of this title was to show you all the weirdly cool things the PS5 controller could do.
And also spread Sony propaganda that the PS5 was gonna have video games. That was a lie.
Adaptive triggers, changing in resistance to simulate climbing, smashing with thrusters, dynamic haptic rumble to showcase how footsteps and foliage feel differently on your palm. Touchpad and gyro controls for fun interactions, and a really high-quality speaker that would peacefully play with the main audio for a weirdly convincing surround sound accent. My car's... No way is there a scammer in my controller right now. How are you doing this?
I feel like 7 isn't even that high of a number.
This video is sponsored by If you're one of literally fucking anyone who's ever owned a phone or used a computer, you know scammers will stop at nothing to steal everything you have. More than likely, have already stolen or purchased your data from another company that harvested it. Your name, your email address, your phone number, your weird little thoughts at 2 a.m. That's right.
Maximum
People suck. There are sucky people in this world that are hell-bent on making your life suck. And Incogni is here to make them go back to their damn cool cave. You'll sign up, tell them what you want removed, agree to let them kill and destroy on your behalf, and then let them rip and watch them go. You can track every step of it, too, in your dashboard. How many requests you sent out, how many losers you've dismantled, and what kind of groups are stealing from you. I use Incogni, and I love the dang thing. Within seconds of filling out my info, I watched it nuke like 100 different places that secretly had my info. Feels so good. So, if you hate scammers and data harvesters and want to send them a coordinated digital strike, use my code CircleTunes at the link below to get an exclusive 60% off your annual Incogni for way. Incogni.com/CircleTunes. Yeah, this thing is fantastic. It really makes me believe in the PS5 controller and a landscape of how fucking different it was. I was so excited to see how many developers took advantage of such an immersive, unique, barely anyone can take advantage of all these features for nearly 5 years straight. Oh, that's so awesome! Yes, okay, yay! I love innovation. Oh, I love how welcome we are all to it. Yeah!
good number of games use the triggers, but the rest of the features are barely touched, including the touch pad. It's a real shame because the PS5 controller is probably the most next-gen thing about the next-gen, as market manipulators would love to call a near-identical generation.
Other than the necessary rise in development costs. Okay, Circle, shut up. We get it. They made a sick-ass controller, but newsflash, moron. Controllers are made to play video games.
Well, guess what, shit-ass? PS5's got their first fucking one, and it's
Game of the Year, baby!
Maximum Pulse!
Okay, let's talk about it. Adstro Propaganda starts with the PS5 being completely brutalized by, Nebulax. What? You guys forgot about Nebulax? Come on! He's a classic video game bad guy. It's always been Bowser, Eggman, Nebulax, and, Pyramid Head. I don't know. Wait, Pyramid Head is in Astrobot 2? And your goal is to repair the PlayStation 5 by traveling between galaxies and beating levels and bosses to save the components of the console while finding and collecting other bots that are often cosplaying as other games. And of course, you got your Ratchets, your Crashes, your Gods of the Wars, even Demon Souls, Street Fighter, Tony Hawk, Intelligent Cube, Boku no Natsuyasumi, Mr. Mosquito. And you probably guessed with all these cameos, the game would be a Smash Bros. Style reference jubilee, even in the gameplay and design. But outside of the special galaxy-ending levels that are based off of a single franchise, the game does a wonderful job of standing on its own two metal feet. Level designs are punchy with color and in-your-face proud of their design and gameplay elements. Save an Iron Giant, an actual enjoyable water level, Melee's balloon stage, growing and climbing a singing tree, and a stage that swaps from day to night at the push of a button. In a game dev world where everyone is borrowing ideas, Team Astrobot fresh concepts with brazen confidence. Astrobot has this bittersweet loop of feeding you an amazingly fun idea, like giving you the power to shrink down to the size of a mouse at will, creating this dichotomy of an overlapping double level where you have to think of everything in two contrasting sizes just to rip it away and never use that idea ever again. Oh shit, are we having fun with that? Guess it's time for the next idea. Which sounds like ass, but they present such a flurry of interesting ideas that your brain cells don't even have time to react before you're playing another completely different fun idea. There are tons of unique enemies that can only be killed in specific ways or with certain power-ups, and even the basic Goomba cousins that you only see during the holidays have multiple damaging variants and change costumes depending on what level they're on. And nearly every ability will have multiple uses: combat, movement, puzzle, and sometimes a combination of all three. Monkey arms allowing you to dual trigger, climb, or beat down enemies. A samurai teapot thing that turns you into a Samus-like sphere that's immune to damage. Slow-mo bullet time. This one is so good and so well made, oh my god. An elephant that sucks and slurps up different materials for platform creation. Multiple different movement abilities and an inflation ability that you know what? Actually, on second thought, I'm not giving that one to you sick freaks.
I will not let them hurt you.
And my favorite, a sponge power that soaks up physics-based water and slings it outward.
4, 3,
I didn't mention the immensely impressive physics simulations in this game yet.
Don't forget,
No? Okay, we're gonna listen to a grown man talk about sprinkles for 12 hours. Okay, here we go. Fuck realistic graphics, fuck being able to see every sweat gland, fuck 3D models with a billion tries, and fuck games that cost a fortune just so they can look like every other 72 on Metacritic, AAA, E3 trailer, not going home and seeing my family goofy crunch time looking ass.
Give me quintillion sprinkles, or acorns, or gems. Let me punch and throw them all independently. Watch them all have perfect physics.
Give me water puzzles bound by actual volume and weight. Give me lava-spitting enemies that realistically pour lava down differently angled slopes. And make all of these things react individually with micro-haptic feedback pulses. I'm fucking 30 hours of the game, and I think like 29 of those hours were entirely spent in this one room. Then you got the hub world where you slowly repopulate your robot army and use them like Pikmin to unlock new areas, costumes to try, and extra items to collect to give your mascot bots special animations, and turning references and character interactions into collectibles is just downright fucking genius, like everything else in this game. I've played a lot of platformers, and since the dawn of the genre, every game has had a somewhat familiar flavor.
Well, this tastes Italian.
Every platformer in some way is trying to bite the flow of the denim-wearing mustache man. But Astrobot to me feels like the first platformer I've played that I predict future Mario titles will be stealing from. Mark my words, there's gonna one day be a Mario game where you blip, whip, wahoo around the Nintendo-verse and save a bunch of Nintendo characters. It's like so obvious. Why haven't they done something like that?
They made Nintendo Land, remember? The Wii U was never real. That's all in your head. You imagined it.
What Astrobot takes is even refined so well here. It's a collectible, but each level is so tight and well made that each discovery is satisfying. You're rarely ever left in an empty field wondering, where the fuck is that last guy? Like you might be with Mario Odyssey. Now, it may look like the most generic Sony billboard back to the single box demo disc generic crossover video game ever, but in actuality, I haven't had any experience as stunning, well crafted, and authentic as this one in a long, long time. The team obviously has a deep love for video games and their history, and they clearly had a great time creating. And if Concord wasn't enough fruit, comparatively, this game is fraction the cost of time to make, proving that high-quality, critically acclaimed games don't need to be these live service loaded blah 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 blah. The gamer, collecting funny little guys. They crave mascot video games. They crave tight 30-hour experiences. I think Astrobot truly just changed the genre forever. Team Asobi really understands what makes a video game fun. It's in their blood. They were born for this moment.
Lord, did you mention me? Am I finally getting my moment?
No. No, you are.
Only 60 seconds left.
Your attacks are futile. You cannot hurt me. I feel Fear Magneto!
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Down to 30 seconds.
I'll watch it right now. How is that surprising to you? Because it had a 7. Because it had a fucking 7. Like, what do you mean? How do you? I'm not even sure about that. Yeah, didn't we already see this? No, I watched the one for what was it called? Star Wars Outlaw. That's a different one. I'm gonna take a look at it right now. Concord review.
Help get that vehicle
Okay.
to its destination.
Grab a copy of Overwatch off some dusty GameStop shelf and run it into the musty armpits of Guardians of the Galaxy's pure quill, you might have something close to the feeling of Concord. As competitive hero shooters go, this sci-fi contender from Sony plays it quite safe. Complete with immediately charming characters rendered in quite safe. Complete with immediately charming characters rendered in
I mean, like, did you?
You brought this on yourself.
Like, I mean, because how do you? Haven't you read everybody's opinion about this other than what you think about it? And it's okay, you can give your review about it. But like, you know, people are gonna look at this. Are you kidding me? If it's so charming, like, you want to see what charming is? Well, I saw this post earlier today. Take a look at this. It says playing Overwatch 2 with Mercy. My little brother 15 walks in the game and stares at my screen and says, "Wait, she's from a game?"
You shall not be harmed. I have not seen so many.
That's what a charming character looks like. Not whatever the fuck. Where is this? Why would anybody like this is just? Why would you want to do this?
Only 60 seconds left.
Just a big robot. It's just a trash can. Yeah, it's not even an interesting trash can. It's just literally a trash can. Here we go.
Characters rendered in gobsmackingly beautiful cutscenes and ability-based PvP combat that never addresses.
I mean, to be fair, the cutscenes were really good. It was impressively good how well put together they were and everything. Absolutely. Yeah.
Those characters are fighting one another when they're clearly allies in said cutscenes. But just because it doesn't offer much in the way of innovation doesn't mean Concord isn't fun to play. I've sunk over 40.
Well, it does mean
They shall not escape our wrath.
So basically, one thing that does mean it's not is if you look at the player base of the game and nobody's playing the game. So like, if a game was fun to play, you'd see more people playing the game. And you see this a lot with games that people like to say, oh, well, this game's actually really fun. And it's weird because you can have people that really want a game to be successful, but they don't really know how to, they're like so invested in it being good that they won't look at it from the perspective of anything else. Yeah, like Helldivers? Yeah, kind of.
Very enjoyable hours into the sweaty shooter, and it overwhelmingly nails its class-based gunplay. That rock-solid foundation certainly carries it quite a long way, but with only a few by-the-numbers game modes and no killer features to shake up the genre, it still has a lot of growing to do during its live service evolution.
I don't think we're gonna get an evolution, okay? Like, there's some fish that, they would crawl up onto the land, and they didn't know how to properly, deal with oxygen. And so instead of evolving into land animals, they just died. And I think Concord is going to be one of those fish. It's going to get up, it's going to try to get and evolve out into, making it on the land, and the legs aren't going to evolve, the gills aren't going to work, it's not going to understand what the fuck oxygen is, it's a bird with a weak beak, naturally selected out, it is. Yeah. It's not going to, this game is not going to evolve, man. It's already dead.
Yeah, it's already done. Squad will form a 5-person team of superpowered characters, each with their own unique strengths, weaknesses, and special abilities.
Why would anybody want to be this? This is disgusting. This is weird. Like, this looks like a villain in Metroid Prime. Like, why would you think a hero shooter that, like, you gotta compete with Overwatch is gonna look like this? It's disgusting.
And then bring them to bear against imposing teams in a variety of formulaic game modes. Those include a standard deathmatch mode, a kill-confirmed mode called Trophy Hunt, and a zone control mode called Clash Point, to name a few, none of which possess even the slightest hint of novelty, but being overly familiar isn't necessarily a bad thing if you've got best-in-class gunplay and awesome characters with compelling powers to back it up.
That's true, you don't need to reinvent the wheel as long as the wheel is turning in a good way. That's right. Very accurate.
Boy, Concord has got both of those down pat. Concord sagely keeps its weapon selection very slim, with just 1 or 2 options given to each character by default, and no way to customize that. But the upshot here is that every single weapon feels incredibly responsive and finely tuned, and no 2 characters have weapons that feel at all similar. The arena-controlling Old Lady Duchess wields the submachine gun that's devastating at close range, while the sneaky and tactical Vale mostly relies on this long-range sniper rifle to take out enemies from afar.
I really think that, I think that IGN and some of these review websites need to realize that every time they try to put out a review that's basically a fluff piece on a game that was received badly by nearly the entire gaming audience, that they take what little degree of, like, credibility that they have and they cut it in half, right? Like you're cutting this, like, it's like a tiny piece and you find a way to cut that, even that little tiny piece in half. And that's what happens. So it's like, I think that if you don't, like, and I think it's very fair, like, there are people who have made reviews that were negative of games, but I think that some of the best negative reviews of games have actually stood the test of time and have been, like, profoundly, like, they've aged better than people would believe, right? Like the Zanzibar Forgive Me thing, or the, like, the Skill Up Final Fantasy 16 review. There have been people that have given very negative reviews to games, but after time goes on, people see the truth in that feedback.
To protect and lead.
Quite so.
While not all of these larger-than-life brawlers clicked with me immediately, like Cleaning Robot One-Off and his vacuum-based weapons that push and pull both enemies and gunfire around the map, or Baz and her knife-throwing and melee-focused ways. But given enough time with each of them, I was able to appreciate and even develop an affinity for this incredibly balanced and diverse roster of characters. All 16 options feel really good to use once you've figured out their tricks, and combining them with the 4 other characters on your team to serve a specific purpose, whether it be charitable support characters, DPS teams, or damage-absorbing tank, is a lot of fun to play around with.
Wow.
Similarly, the abilities that complement their weapons are fantastic, diverse, and have very generous cooldowns, completely changing the way combat plays out, depending on which character you're playing as. The floating fire...
I see this, and it's just... Like, there's no way that this shit could be true if the game only has, like, a few hundred players. Like, on Steam, like, there's just no way that it's this good. You know that it's not this. Anybody can see this versus trigger work nowadays. Well, I think that he was not talking about, like, the way the characters look. I think he was just saying, like, some characters play with, like, a machine gun, other ones use a sniper rifle. I don't think he's talking about, like, oh, there's like, a non-binary character. I don't think that's what he's referring to.
Ball chucking Haymar can blind opponents for a period of time and make them pay for standing in the same spot too long, while the rampaging ogre, Starchild, can close distances quickly with his charging attack and smash the ground to do heavy damage around him.
Wow.
Not all characters feel quite as original, like how Tails, the world's most generic soldier, becomes equipped with a smoke grenade and cluster grenade as his 2 powers.
I don't see that as a problem. Like, that's the character for the people that play Call of Duty. Like, the idea of hero shooters is to have something for everybody that plays different games so people can feel like they can get into the game and try out something that they're familiar with. Like, of course you have John Concord. Like, you have, you need to have a Soldier 76. Like, and then you have the other characters that are like a melee character, kind of, like Genji or Reinhardt or whatever that Star Child character is. That's the way that these games are designed. That's the way it's supposed to work.
And options are few and far between. Plus, they serve as an easy starting point for new players. Learning each character, using their abilities to counter the team comp of your opponents, juggling the madness on the battlefield with top-notch gunplay was just as fun in my first match as it was in my 30th. And I certainly can't say I felt that way about most hero shooters I've spent time with.
Man.
You'll have to get comfortable with the roster too, because one of the few novel twists Concord brings to the genre is the way its competitive playlist.
Let me just show this.
I'm right here. Remember?
One of the few
like, if you look at this fire, for example, like a lot of the things in this game, especially some of the character design, it just looks pretty cheap, man. Like, it's weird that they spent so much money on cinematics and making the characters look semi-photorealistic, especially with, like, that Asian chick. But, like, they can't even nail down things like the fire like this too well.
Mutants always rise again.
Yeah, so does Valorant? No, Valorant doesn't. Like, Valorant doesn't have a cheap look to it because it's stylized in a way that makes the lack of, like, detail look like it's intentional, and it has an art style that basically is congruent. With this, it doesn't have that. That's the difference.
Brings to the genre is the way its competitive playlist, called Rivalry, works. Unlike the casual playlists, where you can choose whichever character you please, so long as someone else on your team hasn't already selected it, in Rivalry, you cleverly aren't allowed to select the same character again if you win a round while using them.
Yes, indeed.
Since matches go to the best of 7 rounds, that means winning one will push you to get outside of your comfort zone and use a minimum of 4 different characters.
See, like, I don't even know why you would do that. I mean, like, Overwatch, I think Overwatch has that with, like, some things, but in general, like, if people want to one-trick a character, let them one-trick a character.
They've almost got it!
Like, for me, I like playing, like, maybe 2 or 3 different Overwatch characters, but if I had to play all of them, or, like, 5, 7 characters, that would just be annoying to me. Because I understand the way the other characters are played, I just don't really like them. So it appeals to me, like, I don't know that you guys have played, like, you know, hero games like this before, where it's like, oh, now I have to play the character that I know I'm not as good at.
only is this a neat way to force people to master more than just one or two options, it also encourages communication with your team between rounds to ensure you've got proper coverage to play out whatever strategy you're trying to pull off as your options get slimmer. That choice is supported by another interesting wrinkle in Concord's character variants, slightly different versions of existing characters that come with unique perks and an altered appearance, which can be unlocked by completing specific objectives during matches. For example, the gunslinger Lennox can normally reload his weapon by dodging, while the variant you can unlock for him loses that ability but gets more ammo for all of his weapons instead. Though each variant offers mostly minor changes.
To be fair to Concord, I think that's a cool idea. I mean, other games have variations of this too, but like having this that's kind of cool.
They definitely provide a meaningful thing to chase that offers more options in combat. Perhaps more importantly, they also
it just adds a little bit more depth to it, and it makes the characters more interesting. Now, obviously, the trade-off to that is that it makes it harder for newer players to understand, because you'll be fighting against the character, and you'll think that, because in a lot of games, obviously, the big difference between characters is like every Reinhardt basically looks the same in like Overwatch, but like imagine if you knew like Red Reinhardt could do like a fire attack instead of like his normal like seismic attack, right, or something like that. Like his Earth Shatter wouldn't stun you, would leave fire on the ground. Like this would be kind of a good thing, but also kind of a bad thing. I'm kind of like back and forth about this, right? But because it's cool like metagame stuff, but it also hurts low-end players because it's confusing for them. Because there's skins that are like, okay, well now you're using the skin. Is the skin for the normal character or the other character? Yeah. So maybe it is actually just a mess, but I like the idea of it at least.
Our enemy
get good. No, in general, like anytime that somebody uses the excuse, like anytime that I hear somebody say that the way to solve a problem in a game that players are running into is to just get good at the game, I generally think that these are just ego gamers that don't even know what they're talking about. I don't really agree with that in almost all circumstances. I think most of the time when players are running into an issue where they hit a wall over and over, it's generally a lack of good design. And this is true like in any game, right? Like this is always how it is. Mostly how it is? Yeah, absolutely.
A bit in Rivalry, since variants count as separate characters on your crew and therefore let you play as the same characters in multiple rounds. With 16 likable characters front and center, you'd think story would be a major focus, but sadly, this is an area that's woefully lacking. With just 2 cutscenes right now to flesh out small bits of lore, Conqueror's strategy is to slowly break through players with short snippets of story over a long period of time.
Well, here's the thing, right, is that Overwatch was really popular because it had archetypes of people that were like, they had like really hot characters basically, and it had these like kind of fantastic versions of characters, whereas Concord just kind of has your generic, I mean, this is your generic everyman, this is your generic John Concord, and this is your generic hot Asian girl that's in the game, right? Like, that's basically about it. Like, if you go and you look at Overwatch, for example, all the characters are super stylized, they're really hot, you know, like, it's just, you know, that's the way that I see it. I think that's a big reason why the game fell off, because hero shooters, I think, do, especially in terms of like making people interested in the characters have to look appealing. I just don't think these characters look appealing at all.
Always rise again.
Let's establish roots, class.
Subsidized by the Galactic Guide, a map filled with nodes where you can read about the locations and characters. I've spent a fair bit of time scrolling through this sizable library of short descriptions, and though much of it is well written, it's a pretty poor substitute for human storytelling that I worry won't come often enough to keep me invested.
Well, like Overwatch had a great form of storytelling, and it had the same form of storytelling that like some things in like Dark Souls have. Where like Overwatch had like these, like you would have like pre-game lobby and like post-game lobby in some circumstances, and in between rounds you would have like these spontaneous lore drops where like one character would say something to another character if they were both in the same lobby, and it would be like, oh oh, okay, now I have like this extra piece of the lore that makes the world more interesting, right? And it's the same as like, you know, if you encounter, you know, a boss in WoW with like a certain weapon on, right? Like there'll sometimes be like a certain, like Atiesh, if you had the staff, people will be like, oh my god, it's, well, where'd you get the staff? And like they had Hanzo and Genji still, it's super hard. It does, right? And so like you had this spontaneous storytelling that was drip fed to you in like a way that made it like dynamic and interesting. You never knew what was going to happen or when it was going to happen because it wasn't like a guaranteed chance that we're going to see the same thing every time. Even Marvel Rivals did that, yeah, because it's smart. Of course. Yeah.
Characters squandered by a complete lack of narrative is basically a hallmark of the hero shooter genre at this point, but it definitely doesn't get any easier to swallow, and especially bitter pill. If developer Firewalk sticks with building out the galaxy over time, it could end up being a major draw. But for now,
it's never going to happen. I think that the best thing that Sony can do is to end this as soon as possible. Because, like, and this is the problem, is that a player base's first impressions are so important that if you mess up that first impression, you never really get the second chance. And I think that's what happens more than anything, is that second chance doesn't happen, first impression is broken, people see, oh, bad game, and then they never think about it again. No Man's Sky? Yeah, but think about how many years that took in order to develop and how much money they had to invest into doing that, and then multiply the scope of No Man's Sky into Concord, and then look at it from Sony's perspective versus just a small studio that only has No Man's Sky to base off of, right? It's like, yeah, No Man's Sky is a great example, but the truth is that No Man's Sky is a massive survivorship bias example. Like, the vast majority of games that try to like redeem themselves don't really redeem themselves. Like you can look at I don't know, like Diablo 4 I think is a good example, right? Is that Diablo 4 has improved a lot of the problems that they had since launch, but because people are fatigued from the problems that they had from the game from launch, that they're not coming back to play it again. Cyberpunk, it took them until 2.0 to really reset that fatigue, and that was because, again, CD Projekt Red is an individual studio, and you know, they have to do what they have to do. But I think a lot of cases they should learn from Artifact. Maybe, yeah, first impression's important. It's the most important. And so after people already have decided that they don't like something, it's very hard to get them to change their mind. Like, I've noticed this a lot with video games, is that if a trailer for a game comes out and the first trailer is good or bad, people will very rarely change their opinion until actual gameplay comes out, because of how strong first impressions are.
And also quite disconnected from the action you spend all your time with, and a pretty big waste of a capacity that has lots of potential.
Set your expectations.
Concord's dream modes are much less inspired than its characters as well. Of the 6 currently available, none of them possess more than a modicum of originality. For example, Signal Hunt is a King of the Hill mode where you fight to control one spot on the map until it moves elsewhere, and Area Control is, well, a zone control mode where you fight over control of 3 static zones.
All kinds of games have stuff like this. This is not, in my opinion, none of this has anything to do with the game. It will have no effect on it at all.
None of these milquetoast ideas are especially offensive. It certainly highlights a major issue with Concord, a lack of any signature game mode that sets this hero shooter apart from the other options out there. Love it or hate it, Overwatch's spin on its iconic escort mode made it a defining selling point, even if that idea was admittedly borrowed from Team Fortress 2 before it.
And yeah, Team Fortress 2 probably didn't invent that idea either. I bet there was a game before Team Fortress 2 that used that idea as well. Like the idea of capture the flag, or like some other variation of that, this is so old. Like every game has had stuff like this since games have existed. So yeah, it's not like this is some kind of a new thing. The problem is not a lack of innovation, it's a lack of quality. It's always a lack of quality.
Concord has a handful of the world's most generic modes I intrinsically understood and was preemptively bored by before I even played. That's a pretty big miss for a hero shooter that already badly lacks ways it sets itself apart. 12 designed maps check out a lot of the game modes though, and I largely enjoy running around Concord's arenas, which feature lots of covered complex that requires spending time learning the map, and some routes that only more mobile characters can easily reach due to the pretty intense heights the vast majority of the stages reach.
Man.
On the waterlogged planet of Leviathan, you'll fight inside of giant Dead Sea creatures in the water hazard map and battle through labyrinthine hallways in the shock risk map. While on the dying planet of Mars, you blast.
What's so crazy to me about some of these reviews is that they don't even address any of the criticism that the game's received for the past like 2 to 3 months. And I'm not talking about like pronouns of like characters, but like it's just the characters not looking good or anything. And it's just it's like these things, they exist in a vacuum, right? It's basically, yeah, it feels like this is like a PR ad for like Sony or something like that. It doesn't even feel like it's a review.
Enemies to bits as you dance around the skeletal remains
That's
of some
insane.
long-forgotten kaiju. Really, my only issue is that some of these maps are a tad larger than 5v5 combat calls for, and that means it can take quite a long time to get back in the action after each respawn. Aside from that, though, I've had a great time figuring out the best paths and team strategies across each arena.
Verdict. Okay, here we go.
Concord isn't the most innovative or content-heavy hero shooter you could play, but with such fantastic competitive gameplay, 16 compelling characters,